welcome back to Obsessive Preparedness. You see what I got here? Today's video is on sugar high. No, it's about storing sugar for back to Obsessive Preparedness. Today's video, if you get the trend here, it's all about sugar. Putting sugar into our food preps for our long-term food storage. Now we do our grains, we do all sorts of food storage, but you need to have sugar in your food storage. Today I'm going to talk about the different types of sugar you can store, the quantities, and I'm going to show you a site that you can go to that will calculate exactly how much sugar you need for one person for 52 weeks, change the weeks, or for 4 people, for 4 adults, 2 children, how much sugar you're going to need. And we're going to go through the different types of sugar, and hopefully I give you a few tips here. Now in this video, I've got a bunch of sugars out here. When we're talking about storing sugar, the guidelines are showing about 60 pounds of sugar for one person for 52 weeks a year. But it doesn't mean that you only have to store white sugar. And I'll leave over here, you can see I store my sugar, and that's just white sugar that I've got stored in 5-gallon buckets, 2-gallon buckets. I've got it in Mylar bags. I've got it in mason jars, and I store sugar a lot of different ways. I forgot to mention number 10 cans. One thing when you're storing any kind of sugar, you do not want to put an oxygen absorber into it or remove the oxygen with like a food saver, because what you'll have is a solid brick of sugar. It will not be granular, and you'll have to get an ice pick or something out to try to break that down. You do not need an oxygen absorber. You do not need to remove the oxygen from it. Now, on this calculator here, I'm going to show you and talk about it, what you need for sugar for each person. Okay, the site is Provident Living, and I will leave down below in the description the information that you can get to. Now you can see it's 52 weeks, one person. We're going to calculate it. Now the basics, what you were going to need, you wouldn't think about sugar because sugar is in everything we eat. But if you're storing for long-term food storage, you're going to need sugar. Now the basics, 400 pounds of grains, 60 pounds of beans, you're going to need 30 pounds of dairy, 60 pounds of sugar, and you just keep going through and you can find the information that you need. Now you think 60 pounds of sugar, wow, well look at this. We're going to go for 4 adults, and we're going to up that, obviously, and the calculations are going to be so much more. But 1,600 pounds of grains, 240 pounds of beans, 120 pounds of dairy, 240 pounds of sugar. So this is why I'm showing you this video of different ideas of sugars to store. They're not just talking about white sugar. Now I'm going to leave that link down below in the description, and so you can go to it and you can figure it out. It just is not about sugar. It's about other things, your grains, things like that, pasta. And I think it's a great site to go to help you out. Now these are only guidelines. Depends on how many calories you're going to burn. Is it 1,200 a day? In an SHTF situation, you're going to burn more than 1,200 calories a day, or you're going to need to be, getting more. This is not necessarily calories or protein or anything like that, but you have to think you might need a little bit more sugar in your preps. But I think it's easily obtainable. So we're talking about 60 pounds for one person. Myself, I've got 2 25-pound bags of sugar, white sugar here, that's already the bulk of our 60 pounds, so 50 pounds. You can also do sugar packets, think about that. Powdered sugar you can have in your sugar consistency. You can have things like Equal. I have a lot of this stored. I don't use it anymore, but I figured I won't throw it away because it's not ever going to go bad, and so I keep it around. I've got several containers of the Equal. When you are thinking about different types of sugars, think about pancake syrups. This is a sugar-free, whatever brand you like. Maple syrup. Now, if you're going to store maple syrup, you need to keep it in the refrigerator once you open it. It will go moldy. Anybody that lives up north know that if you leave it on a shelf, it's going to mold out. Also, try to get 100% maple syrup. Make sure, you know, even in these, when you're getting syrups, most of them have corn syrup in them. So make sure if you want to have it shelf stable for a long period, well, it's going to stay shelf stable, but healthier alternatives is something that doesn't have corn syrup. But corn syrup, there's a place in our pantry for it. You can make all sorts of candies with it. So I definitely keep a ton of corn syrup on hand. So we went over like pancake syrup, sugar-free syrup, maple syrup. Now you have honey. Honey is one of those things that will last forever, just like your white sugar. So 25 years, you are going to get 25 years on honey, and you're going to get 25 years plus on your maple syrup. It has to be in its pure form. So a lot of syrups, like honey, will say they're 100% when they're not necessarily 100%. So check out your labels. Try to go organic if you can, local grown. A lot of the bees, they put a water sugar mixture out, and so they're sucking up a lot of that to make honey versus getting it naturally from flowers. They're trying to mass produce, so that's why you'll see a lot of crystallization in honey. So, you know, you can definitely store it indefinitely. If it goes to crystallization, honeycomb kind of thing, you can still eat it 25 years from now, still good. Other alternatives, brown sugar. Now, brown sugar over a period of time will go hard. What I'll do is put a wet paper towel in my bag and put in a Ziploc baggie, and that'll make it soft. And that's how I store my opened packages of brown sugar. Now, for you that don't know, you can make your own brown sugar by using white sugar and molasses. So I store a ton of molasses just because I have so much sugar. Like I said, brown sugar will go hard. It's okay, you can soften it up, but by having molasses, so you could use 2 cups of white sugar to about 2 tablespoons of molasses. Mix that all up. The more molasses you use, the darker your brown sugar will go. So you see in the grocery stores light brown sugar and dark brown sugar. It's just because they've used more molasses in that sugar. So it all depends on your taste. So definitely store some of your molasses, because that is something also that will stay for a long period of time. I've got some different things out here, alternative sugar that you can think about, because I know not everybody can do the sugar in their diets. My husband's diabetic, so for me to be able to make desserts, I will store things like brown sugar, white sugar, powdered sugar in the Swerve brand. Another alternative to like the Equal, I will also do monk sugar, monk fruit. So this is brown monk fruit. Jackfruit you can do. This is the Swerve powdered sugar. A little bit more money, but it gives you different options of what you can store. I always have bottles of stevia. I don't care which, if you have it in packages, in the powdered form or liquid. I do like the cinnamon stevia and the regular stevia. This I can add to any kind of drinks, oatmeal, that kind of thing. Another thing you can think about for your sugar alternatives is drink mixes. I have a lot of sugar-free up here. I didn't pull my regular stuff out, but like sugar, Jello, unsweetened Jello can be considered as a sugar. Drink mixes, Jello here, vanilla sugar. So if you're looking at all this, you know, for one person, I've got at least 60 pounds. Now, don't forget, you can also use your store-bought or your homemade canned jellies or jams as part of your sugar quantities. I'm showing you my different jars that I have that I've canned. It's so neat to be able to can your own product, your own food, to be able to store it. So I highly recommend as a prepper to learn how to can, and also get a pressure canner so you can can your meats, your beans, things like that. I'm showing you my strawberry spread. I've got peach jam, strawberry jam, a strawberry jello jam, a raspberry jam, apple butters. So all those kind of things, and especially if harvests come in, you can can your own food products. Also different pancake syrups, and don't forget the Torani syrups you can use. And I've got a lot of sugar in different forms. I'm just showing you what I have here stored. So my family's pretty much taken, you know, if we want a sugar high, we can get it. You can have your chocolate chips. If you're baking, replace your eggs, your oil with applesauce. There's sugar in applesauce. So think of those kind of things. I hope this helped you out. I really like that calculator. It gives you an idea of what you can store, how much you need to store to kind of try to get there. Always recommend at least 3 months food supply, but if you can build it up more, that is great. So I hope this helped you out. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you want to be notified for future videos, ring the bell. Have a blessed day.